Welcome to NAFCU's October recap video. I'm Greg Mesack, Senior Vice President of Government Affairs here at NAFCU. Let's take a quick look at the highlights from last month. While Congress is out to campaign in advance of the November elections, we still managed to achieve some advocacy victories. The Senate is considering the National Defense Authorization Act, also known as the NDAA. And importantly, bipartisan agreement on the new text for the bill was released in mid-October. Interchange legislation, known as the Credit Card Competition Act, and NCUA third-party vendor authority were not on the list of amendments included in the new text. A big win for the industry. However, NCUA third-party vendor authority remains in the House NDAA bill, and the Credit Card Competition Act could be introduced during floor debate on the NDAA. We will continue to fight against these pieces of legislation. You can also help by using our Grassroots Action Center on our website, nafcu.org. One other major advocacy issue to update you on is that on October 20th, the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled the CFPB's funding structure is unconstitutional. The CFPB receives its funding through the Federal Reserve rather than through the congressional appropriations process, something the court said is a direct conflict of the Constitution's checks and balances power. This will likely be appealed to the Supreme Court. Also, NAFCU VP of Research and Chief Economist Curt spoke at the NCUA's budget briefing, stressing the need for the agency to learn from the pandemic and to achieve long-term budget reductions.
The draft budget has a large increase for travel expenses, reaching 75% of pre-pandemic levels of spending. NAFCU questions why, when reduction in travel did not negatively impact agency operations over the past 3 years, the NCUA would choose to rely on off-site examination procedures and use virtual training when suitable, instead of off-site examinations with limited on-site presence.
Speaking of Curt, he's with us in the studio to give us a look at the Fed policy.
Thanks, Greg. The FOMC announced another 75 basis point rate hike earlier this week, which increases the federal funds rate to a range of 3.75 to 4%. The FOMC has increased rates each meeting since March and is expected to hike rates another 50 basis points in December. The Fed is presenting a united front in its inflation-fighting stance, but if inflation begins to subside in early 2023, we expect to see more committee members openly discussing easing off the brakes. Earlier this month, Fed Vice Chair Lael Brainerd stated that risks are becoming more two-sided and alluded to the possibility of pausing rate hikes to allow the effects of this year's actions to take hold. Back to you, Greg.
Thanks, Curt. Midterm elections are coming up quickly, so please make sure that you go out and vote. November will be a busy start to a likely intense lame duck session of Congress. We'll keep you updated every step of the way with our daily newsletter, NAFCU Today. Be sure to subscribe on our website, nafcu.org. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month.